So good morning. I really thank you, the DIFASS project, for hosting us, because we come from another project. It is a 4C European project, which name is FINEN. It is a project devoted to sharing methodologies for financial engineering instruments devoted to enterprises. This is the general overview of the project, and after my colleague Antonella will tell you more about the FINEN project. I'll tell you instead something a little bit different, because we are inside the FINEN project, but we come from Lombardy region, or better, we come from Finlombarda, which is the financial agency of Lombardy region. And inside the FINEN project, we have one good practice, which is the practice I'm going to present you, to introduce you. This good practice concerns one example of the Jeremie initiative. As Simeon told you before, the Jeremie initiative was created by the EU Commission together with the EIF. And the aim of the Jeremie initiative was to boost investment on SMEs, on enterprises. In that case, I show you a very specific way to fund enterprises, because Lombardy region tried for the first time to use the Jeremie initiative not with the ERDF fund, which is the most common fund to be used to finance enterprises, but in that case we used the ESF, and we decided to support a very specific range of enterprises. We are in the, of course, 2007-2014 programming period, so we joined the Jeremie initiative, but we decided not to do that with the EIF, but to do by ourselves, and we were in charge of managing Jeremie ESF, because we are financial agency of Lombardy region, and we are totally owned by Lombardy region. It means that we are called, inverted commas, an affiliated institution. So we don't need a specific tender to be in charge. We can receive directly from the region the contract. So what we do is to manage the Jeremie ESF, which was an experimental initiative inside our regional operational program. And at the time the Jeremie ESF was rolled out in Lombardy region, we were the first to try to make something different with the ESF. Let's speak better of the initiative. We have a total budget which is made of a part of funds from the regional operational program. It means from the Jeremie itself. As Simeon said before, the Jeremie initiative is a fund of funds initiative. It means that under an umbrella of a fund of funds, you would be able to create several instruments. In that case, we were not very good in exploiting these opportunities, because we created under the umbrella of the Jeremie Fund of Funds just one financial instrument, that is the one I'm gonna show you. But in theory, we would be able to create many and different instruments under this umbrella. If you create a fund of funds, of course, you know that you can develop several instruments. So in that case, and from this specific point of view, the Jeremie ESF is not a very good practice, because we did not exploit this chance possibility. So coming back to funding, total budget 20 million from the regional operational program, plus around 70.5 million from banks, so from the private sector. Funds of fund manager, we say the Finlombarda, because we are affiliated institution of Lombardy region, so direct contract without any tender. Who are beneficiaries? The initiative is addressed to social cooperatives. We have different types of cooperatives in Italy, namely A, B, and work production cooperatives, which have slightly different characteristics. And we thought in that case that they need support in the way that they need to be capitalized. because what we have very often is that they face difficulties in receiving from the banks money to make some investments, but even when they need to capitalize themselves. So that was the aim. The type of intervention was to create a combined instrument, loan plus guarantee. We would like to capitalize these special companies, these special enterprises, providing them microcredits, a microcredit of 4,000 euro each, which was provided not to the cooperative directly, but was provided to the shareholders of the cooperative, to the members of the cooperative, or to people willing to become members of the cooperative. In that way, each member was in charge of the loan, but of course transferred this loan, this amount, to the cooperative, which was we can say, the final destination of the loan. Of course, we need to respect the state aid laws, so maximum 50 members per cooperative could ask for this loan, because we reached the ceiling of the 200,000 euros under the de minimis rule. We stated that there was a co-financing from banks, because half of the loan, half of these 4,000 euros, was provided by the banks. Here we find a small focus of financial intermediaries, because Finlombarda was in charge to select financial intermediaries, and they were selected with an open call, an open tender, because the idea was to find as much intermediaries as possible in order to allow the cooperatives, which are spread on the territory, to find the closest bank, or the bank with which they have the best relation. So to keep quite a wide range of financial intermediaries. There were two tenders, one in 2009, the second in 2010, and it was the total amount that it was provided to financial intermediaries was 19 million euro, 10 in the first tender and 9 in the second tender. The important thing is that, if you can see, part of the amount, part of the funding was provided as financing, part was provided as guarantee. What does it mean? That they were in charge to provide a part of the funding received as financing directly to the cooperatives, and that they have a small amount, but in any case they have, as guarantee. The small amount of the guarantee is devoted to guarantee their co-financing. So the bank itself has to manage ESF funds from the regional operational program, have to manage their own funds, and their own funds are guaranteed by the ESF with a small amount of guarantee. That makes this financial instrument a combined financial instrument. As you can see, it's a summary of the funding. Total budget, we have a 38 million euro. First section from the regional operational program, and the second section from the private funding. As you can see from the regional operational program, we have first part, the main part devoted to financing, and the small part devoted to guarantee private funding from the banks. Here I tried to provide you the flow chart of the process. We have Lombardy region, the managing authority of the ESF, which put in charge of Finlombarda manager of the Jeremie ESF funds of funds. This funds of funds was provided with 20 million from the regional operational program. And inside this fund of funds, Finlombarda selected financial intermediaries, we said before, banks. These banks had the chance, the possibility to provide microloans directly to cooperative members or people willing to become cooperative members. They can be already members or willing to, it's not a problem. This microloan is a 4,000 euro microloan and is divided into two components. A bullet component of 2,000 euros, which is provided by the regional operational program. It means it comes from the 20 million euros from the regional funding. And this section is not compulsory to be repaid. What I mean, that if the member stays in the cooperatives more than 5 years, he can not repay this part of the loan. What was the idea behind it? The idea behind it was to reinforce cooperative and to reinforce employment. But I will tell you, we had a few problems on this specific item with the European Commission auditing unit. For the second component, instead, we have the amortizing component, which is the half part which is provided by the bank, that we remember is guaranteed in any case from the ESF. Is 2,000 euro of an interest-bearing financing, which is provided by the bank, and of course should be repaid by each member in 60 months. All these microloans are transferred to the cooperative and become part of the capital of the cooperative. If we see from the point of view of the single members going to the bank, we see a member which applies to the bank after the contract is signed, because the application is approved. He has a final agreement with the bank, not with Finlombarda, not with the fund of funds, okay? Because we were not able to deal with so small amounts of microcredits. That is why we went to find financial intermediaries. Of course, they could also finance, co-finance, but they also do the real job, you know, the real work. So, as the contract is signed, the microloan is transferred to the cooperative. Each bank has a different way to do that. They could give to the member, which gives to the cooperative, or they could transfer directly from the bank to the cooperative. It's up to the bank how to deal with such part. But what we have to keep in mind is that the real person which is in charge to repay at least the amortizing component of the loan is the member of the cooperatives, which is, from our point of view, quite important, because it's a sort of way, in some way, to feel him part, to make him feeling a part of a group, you know, of an enterprise, really, because he works to capitalize his enterprise. Briefly, the results that we achieved. We received, you can see, quite a high number of applications. Again, these applications were received by banks, not by Finlombarda, which wouldn't be able to manage so many microcredits. The application approved are around 8,500. Now, at the end of 2014, because we have to say that the tender now is closed, the Jeremie ESF now in this moment is not open, was around 7,700 of application active, of contracts active. You can see the division between men and women. What is really important is that when we spoke before about the cooperatives, we said that there are 3 types of cooperatives: cooperatives A, B, and the work cooperatives. All these cooperatives have inside people with what we call disadvantaged people. It means that we tried to, of course, to support the cooperatives, because are really a very strong and interesting part of our social inclusion policy, because they have inside them disadvantaged people. So as much as we support cooperative, as much as we can find or keep job for people, for disadvantaged people. I don't know what's the definition that you have in your country of disadvantaged people. I can tell you briefly what we intend as Finlombarda. It can be people with drug problems, people from psychiatric problems, and so on. So anyway, when they had to apply, they of course had all the information to know if they were in this group or not. The total financing active at the end of 2013 was 30 million of euros, half provided by the regional operational program, so by the Jeremie ESF, half provided by the banks. And of course the banks behind this amount of 15 million euros have still working a guarantee, a small amount of a guarantee, which comes from the Jeremie ESF. I don't know if it was quite clear to the functioning of the instruments. Just one more word to tell you, if it could be interesting, what we define for cooperatives A, B, and production and work cooperatives. Our cooperative A are the social cooperatives with that are providing health, social, and educational services. Our cooperatives B, type B of cooperatives, they provide integration services for disadvantaged individuals in the job market, while the third type of cooperatives are production and work cooperatives, where they produce or provide general common services, but they hire at least 30% of disadvantaged people. I hope that could provide you an overview of the Jeremie ESF. If you need further information, of course, don't hesitate. Here you can find our direct lines and our contacts. Thank you very much.